Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and I'm here to bring you guys the season finale review of Avatar: The Legend of Korra. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I know this is coming out more than just a day late. It's coming out like a bunch of days late. And actually, my reasons for that, I actually did record Legend of Korra review like Saturday, and I recorded it Monday. But with both of the times that I recorded it, I felt like I rambled on a little bit too much. So this is like my third time actually recording this video. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. But basically what I'm going to talk about in this video is not necessarily every little thing that went on. I'm not really even going to give a synopsis. I'm just going to talk about the things that I did like about the episode and what I didn't like and what I would like to see in the next season of Legend of Korra. Now, first off, I have to say I enjoyed the season finale for the most part. Weren't too many things that I really had like a gripe with, but I would say that, one of the things that, I felt like was really done well, actually, is I like the fact that Tarlac was given an importance into the story, because prior to this, before us finding out Amon's true identity and that he was the brother of Tarlac, Tarlac kind of just felt like a side villain, a fillerish kind of villain, a villain that was just there to kind of give Korra a little bit of hard time on the side. But in a sense, we find out that Tarlac in the whole thing with Aang letting Korra know about Yokon and how he had a connection to Tarlac really had an importance directly to Amon. So it makes sense in what Aang was actually trying to tell Korra that whole time. It wasn't just something he was just doing just for no reason. And Tarlac, I'm like, it didn't, in a sense, it almost made you sympathize for the character a little bit, finding out his backstory, about Amon, and he actually didn't seem so bad. I mean, he still, the way he went about things was pretty bad, but at the same time, I didn't necessarily hate him as much as I did before. Yeah, so that's the thing with Tarlac. I did like how he was done in the season finale, and that he just wasn't shafted to the side. I also kind of liked, as far as finding out Yokon to be kind of play a bigger role in the series than we thought. He wasn't just somebody who just made an appearance in one of Aang's flashbacks and like just left the seed for his kids to do the dirty work. But he actually trained Tarlac and trained Noatak or Amon to be these great bloodbenders and even escape prison. So in a sense, it kind of seems like, think about, okay, for example, Kyoshi, Avatar Kyoshi, she left behind the Dai Li as her mistake. And you look at Roku, he kind of left behind as his mistake with the whole thing with Sozin and how that led into the whole plot for Avatar: The Last Airbender. And we even see in The Legend of Korra, in a sense, Aang even left a mistake behind. And it shows that the Avatar, they're human, that they make mistakes, that they don't, they're not perfect. So, I kind of like the fact that, in a sense, Yokon was Aang's mistake, that Korra's kind of got to clean up a little bit, just fix it up a little bit. So it kind of shows why there's the importance of an Avatar coming around one after another, that they have to keep this responsibility up, basically until, I guess, the world, or the Avatar world, ends as they know it. So, but yeah, I like the whole thing that Yokon, he escaped prison, he did facial reconstructive surgery. That didn't really seem that bad to me, seeing as how we did see the technology in the Avatar world, kind of raise up, or, we saw that, it's grown greatly since the time of, like, Ozai and the Phoenix King stuff. I also did enjoy the fact that we got General Iroh. I want to know more about him. It seems like he, like has learned a lot from his grandfather Zuko, and he's been teaching him all about the Avatar and stuff, seeing as how he responded, when he saw Korra and said that, if, what will my grandfather do when it comes down to the Avatar? And he's like, well, if my grandfather trusts the judgment of the Avatar, then I will too. So that's one thing that I'm kind of, wanting to know more about Iroh within, like, himself. And I want to see, like, as far as we're gonna see Zuko, because I'm like, if we do see Zuko, I think we'll probably see it because of General Iroh. He'll probably go visit him or something along those lines, and then that's when we'll see him. Because the only thing with General Iroh in this season finale, he just kind of seemed like he was, just kind of there. He was just introduced. So I'm hoping that he does play a big role in season 2. Otherwise, I don't know why he was introduced, other than like kind of like fan service for those who loved watching Zuko and seeing Zuko do stuff. Also, another thing that I kind of did like, of course, is when Korra saw Aang, and when we see her sitting on the edge of the cliff after she lost her bending, And, she's just looking all, like, depressed. And she's like, go away, Tenzin, because she thought it was Tenzin. And then we see Aang is just like, but you called me here. And then he says that great line about, like, oh, moment where we reach the greatest change is usually when we're at our lowest, or something along those lines. And, then we see all the previous avatars, and they grant her the ability to energy bend. Now, my only thing about that whole thing with the energy bending deal is, and I know that she restored Len's bending, which was awesome because Len is like my favorite character and I wanted her to get her bending back. But I was thinking that the next book was going to be called Energy Bending, which, was a little bit of a disappointment. And it kind of brings the question of what is going to happen in the second season, considering the fact that the next book probably won't be called Energy unless there's more that you can do with energy other than just taking away a person's bending or restoring it, which would be kind of weird if you can do more with it. But hey, it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. Another thing that was pretty great about season finale, I would say, maybe, I guess, the Hiroshi and Asami fight. Wasn't too much into it, but it still was pretty cool to see her fight against her father. But I felt like it could have been done a lot better because I didn't really care too much. I felt like there wasn't like enough. Like, I feel like Hiroshi needed to be developed a little bit more as a villain because we only got maybe one episode for him to really develop as a villain and to show that he was a threat. Other than that, he didn't really come off to like as a really crazy person until like that particular point, in my opinion. Another thing, in fact, you know what? Let's move on to things I didn't like. Okay, now, before I really get, like, jumping as far as what happened at the very end, I just want to say that I didn't necessarily like the fact that General Iroh's ships were destroyed so effortlessly. And not only that, but it almost seemed as though you never really heard him mention anything about his men. His men could have just been dead, and, he never mentioned anything about it. It seemed like he was more concerned about the troubles in Republic City. So I kind of feel like that wasn't really good for his character, because it's like, okay, you're supposed to be a general. I'd like to hear you actually show some concern for your men. They may be fodder, but they still are characters. So, yeah, that wasn't really too good to me. Another thing I kind of want to mention is the whole deal with, I'd say the airbending deal, how Korra decided to beat Amon with just airbending alone. Like, we saw her unlock her airbending at the end of the battle after she lost her bending. And I felt like that battle kind of finished a little bit too quickly, if you get what I mean. Like she beat him with airbending alone, but you mean to tell me she couldn't beat him with 3 elements, earth, fire, and water? I'm like, it just didn't make a little sense. Yeah, on one hand, she didn't knock him out. She just knocked him out of the window. But on the other hand, it just kind of still seemed a little bit too easy considering that he was just OP a couple seconds ago. Also, I also want to mention the fact that when Amon fell into the water and, we see him rising up out of the water, I thought there was going to be more of a battle that happened between them, but we didn't see that happen. We kind of just saw him hightail it away, and then eventually he grabs Tarlac, they leave off, and then he kills himself. But the major thing that I really want to get down to is the fact that this season 1 kind of left us with the questions of what ultimately pushed Amon to do what he did. Yes, we saw the whole deal with his father and how messed up his father was when it came down to blood bending. But at the same time, I kind of feel like more need to be explained as far as how he can take away people's bending with blood bending. More of the anatomy of bending within itself, because we saw how he took away like 3 of Korra's elements, but then she was actually able to unlock her air element. So that's why I'm thinking more needs to be explained in that department, and the chi blocking deal, because Amon, regardless, he wasn't an energy bender, but we still don't know as far as the whole chi blocking deal, like who taught him how to chi block, what ultimately, led him to even meeting up with the chi blockers and coming up with this solution. So I don't know. I'm hoping season 2 we get those questions answered, because I thought Amon was going to lead into season 2, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But these are pretty much my thoughts on the season finale of Avatar: The Legend of Korra. I apologize for taking so long to come up with this video, but here it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. So please rate this video. So if you did like the video, then please put a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, you can feel free to put the thumbs down, guys. It's your choice. And also, sorry for that alarm. But anyway, thank you for this video, and I'll see you later.